on some ghosts. Oh, by the way, meet our team. I'm Bryce, you know me. And then there's Trayvon, of course, and then Brandon. He's our sound guy. Should get some food? Okay, let's get some food. What do you guys think about, how about Panera?
No.
What?
Gross. It's terrible.
Okay, where do you guys want to eat?
I want Wendy's.
We're not going to Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's.
We're not going to Wendy's.
Wendy's.
Wendy's. Wendy's. Wendy's. Wendy's.
We're not going to Wendy's! This better go super well tonight, I swear to God. Hi Donna, this is Bryce. We've been talking via email about the investigation tonight. Just wanted to let you all know that we unfortunately left a little bit late, but we're on the road now. Our GPS says that we'll be there around 9:22 p.m. We're super excited, and we'll see you when we get there. All right, thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, well, we left a voicemail. I guess that's the best we can do. So
Maybe the ghost is about here.
it's valid. Could happen. Could happen.
Hi, Bryce.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Donna. I just sent your message. We just pulled in here. This is out in the country.
All right. Perfect. Well, we're excited.
Even a creepy abandoned house across the street.
Ooh. All right.
Yeah, so.
Awesome.
Okay. See you later.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
There's an abandoned house across the street.
There's an abandoned house across the street. All right, I'm here with Monica, a member of the Orlandeaux Paranormal Society, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her group, what they do, and what we're doing here tonight. Tell us about the Orlandeaux Paranormal Society.
We're a group of four. Paranormal activity is kind of a passion of ours. So we like to go to different historical places and try to find out what we know through the spirits that inhabit those places.
What made you guys choose this location tonight?
Well, we've never been here before. We like to go into places kind of new without doing a lot of research prior, so we can get information from the spirits, and then over the next week afterwards we'll put all the information together that we gathered, and then we'll do research on the place to find out exactly if we hit certain topics or spirits that were actually here, and kind of validate what we found out.
I guess that's all we have.
All right.
That's cut.
Okay, so this was the train depot. It was built in 1885. This section here was where at that time it was segregated, so this is where the white patrons were housed, where the white patrons, patrons were housed, and then so there's a lot of artifacts in here that are not really even train related, but people donated antiques. So, and antiques collect or attract a lot of energy, so we'll be picking up a lot of that. By the way, this is our Boo Bear, and as energy goes through it, it will start talking on its own, so that's pretty interesting. It has a couple sayings that it normally says, and then all of a sudden it will say something that it's not programmed with, so it's pretty cool. And then out in the back here is just the other part of the platform, but they have fire truck out here was donated in 1925 by the Brooksville. Well, it was donated, but it's 1925 fire truck. Ray, are you guys out here?
Yes.
Did you want to tell them a little bit of the history on the...
Well, the place was opened in 1885. Railroad tracks were visible like within a quarter of a mile from here, the original tracks that was dated back to the Civil War. You got to think about it too, with the battles of Brooksville that took place. There was a lot of Union troops that was injured in the battle here that was taken away and sent back up north, where a lot of these trains here transported their wounded or their soldiers from the south all over after the end of the Civil War. But this was one of the main depots at the time to send the troops home, Beaver, going north or to southern parts of the country here, the southern troops here. There's a lot of outstanding antiques in here that dates all the way back to 1885, the time present of when this was all built. So we have a lot of history here, and we're going to try to bring out and see if we have any Confederate or Union troops here present tonight. And that's going to be conducted outside of the tracks, see if they're waiting for their trains to come in. So should be interesting tonight.
Alright, so this is the train car. I just want to point out here that this platform is the last duel in the United States took place on this platform. A gentleman here waiting for the train was upset that the train was late, so he challenged the guy from the train, and they shot each other dead on this platform here. So it's a little history there. This is the old Cooke car. Over here was the kitchen, and as gentlemen were doing lumber here, the train would go along the tracks and they would come in and eat as the train was rolling. This is where they did all the cooking, and then back over on this side here is where they would eat, and then they would get back out and start working again.
Did you work on this train car? Maybe you cooked meals or served the meals?
Was it your husband that was connected to the train?
Did your family own the railroad? Or was somebody in your family the station master? This train depot was built in 1885. Were you around during that time? Can you turn that off, please, so we can ask you another question?
Can you please stop that so we can...
So we're trying to understand your connection and why you're here. Did someone in your family work on this train? Did you or your family live on this property or around this property during that time?
I know this train station was segregated when it was first built. Were you a white woman? Were you African American?
Did y'all build the house across the street? Because it was built pretty much the same time as the May Stringer house. If you did, can you turn that light back on for me, please?
Did you know anyone staying in that house?
Did you stay at the May Stringer house before? All this equipment, we can pick you up and we can hear you. Thank you for that response. Do you get tired of people coming in here and asking y'all questions like this? If you do, can you turn the light out for me, please? Because I'm sure it can get pretty aggravating at times. Do you like the interaction with us? If you understand, can you turn the light out for me, please? Would you like us to stop and we can go to another room? Would you like that for a while? Go ahead, if you understand that. Go ahead and turn it out. We'll stop asking questions for a while. Would you like that? Go ahead, turn it all the way off. Thank you for that. We're gonna go ahead and close this room out right now.
So we're outside the conductor's house, and so apparently it used to be like a brothel, station master's house, and apparently a prostitute died upstairs. So we're gonna do our own little EVP session right here. If there's any spirits with us here tonight, please feel free to come forward and touch Trayvon or Brandon. But not me. Just kidding, you can touch me too if that interests you more. But please don't. Start with them and then work your way into me. I'll just kind of slowly get into it. Were you murdered in this house? If you responded yes, how were you murdered in this house? Was it a he that killed you, or was it maybe another prostitute, female? Because males can be prostitutes too. I'm just saying.
See, the real professionals had a flashlight that they were using.
Well, you know what? This is my first time, Trayvon. Okay. If you died in this house, or some way associated with this house or the train station, please feel free to manipulate that light behind me. I hear weird noises, dude, and I don't like it. I know it's probably animals or bugs or something, but I'm just saying I don't like it. If you lived in this house in the past or something, please feel free to touch this light or touch Trayvon or Brandon. Or we are recording right now with live equipment, so we could pick you up. So if you want to talk, get close to the microphone and we'll check it out afterwards. So we can't hear you maybe, unless you scream really loud, but our audio equipment might be able to pick you up. So we'd love to talk to you, because if you don't talk to us, then I'm talking to myself, and that makes me feel weird.
He does that often.
Thank you, Trayvon. So I'm here with Brandon, and we just really wanted to take a moment to kind of debrief that whole experience, to talk about maybe some of the evidence that we collected.
Yeah, just the experience of the ghost hunt.
You know, I will be transparent saying this is the first time we have ever filmed anything like this, and so
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I know that the video was probably felt a little disjointed. We felt like maybe some questions were unanswered, and so that's just like, as filmmakers, we had never done that before. So like, if we do this again, if we want to do it again, we would definitely shoot it differently. But I do want to talk about the pieces that we did capture. What are some things that really stuck out to you from having been in that experience?
Yeah, honestly, the whole time, it was just a really creepy feeling. I went in pretty skeptical about ghosts and ghost hunting and all that, but just really being in it was just so different. It was very eerie the whole time.
Yeah, it was. One of the things that I came across editing that really kind of freaked me out, and it's such a hard piece of evidence because it sounds so fake.
It sounds awfully fake.
Super fake, but it's the EVP we got really early when she's talking about white patrons in one area, and like a voice, like electronic sounding voice, comes out over the microphone that says black, like almost like correcting her.
Yeah.
This is where the white patrons were housed.
And it freaked me out in editing because nobody reacted, and it sounds like so clear, and it sounds more clear after I did some audio engineering and stuff. But what I'm saying is that like, it sounds like I planted it in there, but I swear to God, I did not plant it in there.
Literally, when he was editing the footage, because when it happened, none of us reacted, and you can even see that in the footage, that nobody did anything. But he called me up immediately and said like, oh, this is the creepiest thing ever. And I went over, saw the footage, and it was weird.
And it could be a total coincidence, and we're just interpreting it wrong. You guys can interpret it the way you want to, because I'm not definitively saying that it was a spirit or even that it was real evidence. I'm just saying that we didn't produce it,
and it's super creepy.
and it's creepy if you think it's real. So that was weird for us.
It's weird.
It's weird. So another part that I really want to talk about is the session we did in the train car with the K2 meter.
Were you around during that time?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I think that was really cool. It was just interesting because they were kind of asking questions, just trying to guide the possible spirits that were around, trying to figure out exactly who was in the car with us. And so every time that they would ask it a question, they wanted the K2 sensor to go off, and it detects, electromagnetic energy?
Yeah, it's a sensor that detects electromagnetic energy. And supposedly spirits can manipulate that in order to set it off, which was basically to indicate yes or no. So silence being no and yes going off.
So looking at the footage, it might look like it was just a little box beeping, but being there, it was just a very weird and strange experience, you know, that they would ask a question and kind of guide it, and it would go off. Like, it was weird, and there was like no buttons on it, so nobody was doing it. It just happened when they asked questions.
Right. So there's no indication that like it wasn't just being set off by something that was EMF in the room. And I mean, there could be other explanations for that, but it was just something where it was very convenient timing.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, and so that was very interesting. I think another point to that same effect was the flashlight flashlight session with Ray back there in the waiting area.
All this equipment, we can pick you up and we can hear you. Thank you for that response.
Yeah, so Trayvon and I were filming this part in the back. Being in the experience, it's just really hard to describe because I came in super skeptical about all this. It was just, I don't know, being there in person, it just has a completely different feeling.
Yeah, and we are not here saying that any of this evidence is real or that it's fake, because we literally definitively cannot say. We can create a bunch of ideas as to how it happened, but given our experiences, like just being there in that moment, we can just say that it was hard to explain in the moment.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Thinking about it after the fact, for sure, we can come up with possible solutions, but that's all they are, is possible solutions. So it's really up to you to decide what you think. Lastly, I think we just wanted to remind you guys that, again, this is the first time we've ever done this, but we had a lot of fun, at least I did.
Yeah, I had a great time.
And so if you guys are really interested in this kind of content, tell us what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down, let us know, and then we can work potentially with Orlandeaux Paranormal to produce more stuff like this. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.